Ferrari is stepping into a storm, and there's growing tension behind the scenes. From the outside, everything may still seem polished, but internally, cracks are spreading fast. Questions are beginning to swirl around team boss Fred Vasseur, and patience at the top level appears to be wearing thin. It's not just about performance anymore. The atmosphere in the garage is unsettled, and the drivers don't seem convinced about the path the team is heading down. Charles Leclerc, Ferrari's longtime hope, is now being linked with other teams for 2026. That alone says a lot. Meanwhile, Lewis Hamilton, their massive signing, looks uncomfortable. The excitement that surrounded his arrival is fading, and doubts are starting to grow louder. The team seems stuck, and no one knows how to get things back on track. But is all this frustration being unfairly directed at Vasseur? Or is he simply the one holding the bag while deeper problems drag the team down? And if things do fall apart, who could even replace him? The truth is, Ferrari's direction this year has puzzled a lot of people. Even after landing Hamilton, a move that should have turned heads, results have not followed. It became obvious early on that Lewis couldn't just jump in and feel at home with the car. But that's just scratching the surface. The real struggle lies in the communication gaps and technical confusion surrounding the SF25. That's where the drivers are losing faith, not just with the car, but with how it's being developed. Both Hamilton and Leclerc are clearly unhappy with the internal processes. It's a big red flag. Ferrari is trying to fix things, no doubt. They're out there trying to recruit top engineers to bring some long-overdue consistency to Maranello. But here's the problem. Many of those experts are saying no. That makes everything harder. Rebuilding is tough when the foundation isn't stable. Even though Ferrari currently sits second in the constructors' standings, let's be honest, they don't have the second-best machine on the grid. That fact alone should be raising alarms. At the start of the season, many believed Ferrari would be fighting at the front, going head-to-head with McLaren, maybe even challenging Red Bull. But reality has been different. Instead of rising, they're slipping. And often, losing battles not just to Red Bull, but to Mercedes as well. That wasn't part of the plan. And sure, some voices in the team say that 2025 isn't the real goal, that all eyes are on the major regulation changes coming in 2026. But even if that's true, how can a team move forward when things aren't working now? If the present is this messy, what does that say about the future? Fred Vasseur's position is now under a quiet microscope. On paper, it would feel unfair to put all the blame on him. After all, he did manage to produce respectable results in 2023 and 2024. But patience at the top, especially from figures like John Elkann, is wearing thin. Time is no longer on Vasseur's side. So if changes do happen, who could step in? There's been some buzz, including a name that always gets attention, Christian Horner. While the Red Bull chief publicly dismissed any links to Ferrari, anyone familiar with Formula One knows how quickly things can shift. What's true today might be history tomorrow. We're entering a turning point. Ferrari's next chapter, especially with 2026 around the corner, could start with a change in leadership. Because despite giving Vasseur a decent runway, the progress simply hasn't shown up. Some may argue that blaming Vasseur is harsh, but let's not forget why Mattia Binotto was let go. It wasn't about just bad result. It was about failing to hold the right people accountable. In that sense, the same warning signs are flashing again. Vasseur often talks about potential in the current car. But potential means nothing without proof. And right now, that proof is missing. When both of your top drivers start losing confidence, something needs to change. Leclerc and Hamilton aren't just voicing concerns, they're showing signs of serious frustration. And for Ferrari fans, hearing rumors of Charles entertaining offers from other teams for 2026 is painful. He's supposed to be the face of the team. If he's even thinking of leaving, that says more than any race result ever could. Although nothing official has come from Leclerc's camp yet, he's made it clear in multiple interviews that he's unhappy with how the team is handling things. His loyalty won't last forever, especially if he feels his prime years are being wasted. Mercedes was reportedly the first team to reach out. Whether or not that leads to something serious remains to be seen. But one thing is clear. Ferrari is not just facing technical problems. They're dealing with a growing disconnect between the drivers and the people responsible for giving them a winning car. According to Lewis Hamilton, the team needs to shift focus to 2026 immediately. From his perspective, 2025 has already slipped away, and when a 7-time world champion says something like that, you have to take it seriously. He's not making excuses. He's pointing at a fundamental issue. One of the most disheartening moments came at the Spanish Grand Prix, where Hamilton finished P6 and was overtaken by a Sauber, not because of strategy, but on raw pace. That hit hard. This wasn't just another bad weekend. It was a wake-up call. Now the question hanging in the air is this. Did Hamilton make the wrong call by joining Ferrari just before a massive shift in regulations? It's a fair question, and one that will only be answered by what happens next inside the team's garage. Ferrari's current state is like a puzzle with too many missing pieces. The team talks about competing for championships, yet their car tells a different story every weekend. One week it looks competitive. The next it struggles to keep up with midfield teams. Drivers aren't just dealing with a lack of speed, they're dealing with unpredictability. That's even more frustrating. You'd expect a team with 2 top-tier drivers to be closer to the front. But no matter how much feedback Leclerc and Hamilton provide, it doesn't seem to result in meaningful changes. This isn't just about performance, it's about trust. The bond between the engineers and drivers is breaking, and once that happens, it's hard to fix. So again, the blame can't fall only on Fred Vasseur, but he's the one in charge, and leadership means owning both the highs and the lows. When he came in, he brought major changes. Big names left the team, like Laurent Mekies and Enrico Cardile. In their place came new figures, including Loic Serra, and of course, Hamilton himself. These moves were meant to spark a fresh start, but a fresh start only works if results follow. And right now, the reality doesn't match the vision. The car's problems are still there. The communication gaps haven't been bridged. And with 2026 approaching fast, the clock is ticking. One advantage Fred might still have is knowledge. He's been part of the discussions shaping the future car. That puts him in a powerful position, but it could also make it risky to replace him. Letting go of someone so involved in the 2026 project could backfire unless the team has a clear plan. So, is Vasseur still the right person to lead Ferrari into this new era? That answer might depend on what happens over the next few months, because while 2026 offers a blank page, 2025 is writing its own story in red ink. With every passing race, the signs become harder to ignore. Ferrari is no longer just fighting. It's rivals on the track. It's battling itself behind closed doors. From rising tensions in the paddock to uncertainty in the leadership ranks, the pressure is mounting from all directions. One name that's quietly gaining attention inside the Ferrari circle is Antonello Coletta. The Roman-born figure is currently managing Ferrari's endurance program and has already proven his worth by winning in Le Mans and leading the World Endurance Championship standings. What makes him stand out isn't just his results, but his familiarity with Ferrari's inner workings. He knows the culture, the people, and the expectations. And sometimes, that's more important than flashy credentials. Interestingly, Coletta had once turned down the chance to lead Ferrari's F1 team before Vasseur was appointed. But situations change, and so do decisions. With the team looking for stability and results, his return to the discussion makes a lot of sense. Still, even if Coletta or someone else steps in, there's no guarantee of a quick fix. Formula One is brutal. Patience is thin. Expectations are massive. Ferrari has invested a lot in its current lineup, both in terms of personnel and long-term plans. Removing Fred Vasseur now might solve one problem, but create another. And there's one more layer to this. Fred holds information. A lot of it. If he were to leave, that insight into the 2026 project could become a vulnerability. Yes, there's always a gardening leave period to prevent sensitive details from leaking, but that doesn't erase the risk completely. For now, one thing is clear. The pressure cooker at Ferrari is about to blow if results don't improve. Soon. The fans are restless, the drivers are frustrated, and the higher-ups are growing tired of excuses. If Leclerc decides to walk away, that could be the final blow. It would not only weaken Ferrari's lineup, but also send a message to the entire paddock that the team is crumbling from within. That's the big question. Will Fred Vasseur be given more time to prove himself? Or will Ferrari make another bold move and shake up the leadership once again? Only time will tell. But if something doesn't change soon, 2026 might not be the fresh beginning they're hoping for. It might just be another chapter in a story full of what-ifs.